First strike. The quantum arrays at SETI's Mauna Kea facility were the first to detect it, a signal so precise it couldn't be natural. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the reading, her hands trembling as she reached for her phone. Within hours, observatories worldwide confirmed her discovery. An artificial signal, approaching at faster than light speeds. The message itself was simple: surrender or die. No introduction, no demands, just those 3 words repeated in perfect mathematical sequences that somehow translated into every human language simultaneously. Admiral James Rodriguez stood before the United Nations Security Council, his weathered face illuminated by holographic projections of the approaching fleet. They'll reach Earth in 72 hours. Our deep space sensors detect over 300 vessels, each larger than anything humanity has ever constructed. The chamber erupted in panic, but Rodriguez raised his hand. However, we're not defenseless. Project Helios is ready. Dr. Maya Patel, lead scientist of Project Helios, stepped forward. Her team had spent the last decade secretly developing quantum-based weapons technology, reverse-engineered from a crashed alien scout ship found in the Atacama Desert. The aliens use a form of quantum propulsion we barely understand, she explained, but their reliance on it is also their weakness. Meanwhile, in orbit, Commander Lai Wei of the International Space Station noticed something odd. The alien fleet's approach vector seemed to avoid certain regions of space, as if they were navigating around invisible obstacles. She transmitted her observations to Earth, where Dr. Patel's team made a startling discovery. The aliens weren't just avoiding random areas. They were circumventing naturally occurring quantum disturbances in spacetime. These disturbances were invisible to conventional sensors, but apparently dangerous to their drives. It was the vulnerability they needed. As Earth's governments mobilized for war, a global network of quantum generators was activated, creating artificial disturbances like the ones the aliens avoided. Dr. Patel's team worked around the clock, fine-tuning the frequencies based on Commander Lai's continuing observations. The alien fleet's commander, Supreme Vanquisher Zixtal, watched Earth's preparations with amusement. His species had conquered 1,000 worlds, and none had ever survived first contact. These humans were clever, yes. Their quantum experiments had been detected long ago. But cleverness alone wouldn't save them from the most powerful armada in the galaxy. What Zixtal didn't know was that humanity had faced extinction before. From ice ages to plagues, from world wars to climate disasters, humans had survived by doing what they did best: adapting, innovating, and refusing to submit. 48 hours before the fleet's arrival, Dr. Patel made a breakthrough. The quantum disturbances could be synchronized to create a cascading effect, like a chain reaction of spatial anomalies. In theory, it could disable the alien fleet's propulsion systems entirely. The risk was enormous. A miscalculation could tear apart the fabric of spacetime around Earth. "We have no choice," Admiral Rodriguez told the Security Council. "We either take this chance, or we surrender our planet." The vote was unanimous. Project Helios would proceed. As the alien fleet entered the solar system, humanity held its breath. Surface-to-space weapons were armed, quantum generators spooled up, and evacuation shelters were sealed. In orbit, Commander Lai and her crew prepared to witness humanity's greatest battle from the best and most dangerous vantage point possible. Zixtal opened a channel to Earth, expecting to hear pleas for mercy. Instead, Admiral Rodriguez's voice came through, clear and defiant. "You should have studied our history before threatening our world. Humanity doesn't surrender." The quantum generators activated simultaneously, creating a web of spatial distortions that encircled the planet. The alien fleet's forward momentum ceased as their quantum drives encountered the artificial anomalies. Ship after ship began to drift, their main power systems failing. But the aliens weren't defeated yet. Secondary conventional drives engaged, and the fleet pressed forward. Though at a fraction of their former speed, they launched their first volley, energy weapons that could level cities. The blasts never reached Earth's atmosphere. The quantum distortions bent the energy back on itself, creating spectacular auroras visible even in daylight. Humanity's defensive screen, born of understanding their enemy's own technology, had worked. Dr. Patel's voice crackled over the global command channel, initiating Phase 2. The quantum generators increased power, creating a feedback loop that targeted the alien fleet's quantum cores. Ships began to break apart as their own technology turned against them. Commander Lee's voice came from orbit. Multiple explosions detected. 80% of the alien fleet is disabled or destroyed. They're retreating. On his flagship, Zixtal faced a choice he'd never encountered in centuries of conquest: surrender or complete annihilation. His species had always believed themselves invincible, their technology unmatched. Yet these humans, in mere decades, had not only understood quantum physics enough to detect their weakness, but had weaponized that knowledge. The remaining alien ships fled, leaving behind a graveyard of derelict vessels in Earth's orbit. Humanity had survived its first interstellar war, not through overwhelming force, but through observation, innovation, and the courage to attempt the impossible. As celebrations erupted across the planet, Dr. Patel and her team were already studying the abandoned alien ships. Their technology still has secrets to teach us, she told Admiral Rodriguez. Next time, we'll be even better prepared. Next time, Rodriguez replied, they'll think twice before attacking Earth. Silent thunder. 2 months after humanity's first victory against the alien fleet, the captured vessels yielded their secrets. Deep within the quantum drives, Dr. Maya Patel's team discovered something disturbing: a biological component, living tissue integrated with machine. The aliens hadn't just built their ships, they'd grown them. The revelation came too late. The second wave arrived without warning, emerging from sunward where Earth's sensors were blind. These ships were different. No quantum drives to disrupt, no weaknesses to exploit. They moved like living things, adapting to attacks in real time. Admiral Rodriguez watched from NORAD as the first shots were fired. Earth's orbital defenses, bolstered by reverse-engineered alien technology, lasted 17 minutes before falling silent. The enemy fleet took position in low Earth orbit, but they didn't attack. They waited. They're learning, Commander Lee transmitted from the International Space Station. The first wave was a test, not to defeat us, but to understand how we fight. In her laboratory beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Patel worked frantically to understand the new threat. The biological components from the captured ships were changing, evolving even in death. These aren't just vessels, she reported. They're weapons that evolve to counter whatever destroys them. But humanity had been preparing too. Project Oracle, a quantum AI developed using principles learned from the first invasion, detected a pattern in the alien ship's behavior. They weren't just adapting. They were communicating, sharing information about each attack they survived. Lieutenant Sarah Hassan, a quantum computing specialist, noticed something else. The ships aren't just sharing information. They're sharing consciousness. They're a network like neurons in a brain. And every network has a critical point where it breaks down. The aliens struck at dawn. Their weapons were precise, targeting military installations and defense infrastructure with surgical accuracy. But they found most targets empty, evacuated hours before based on Project Oracle's predictions. Underground, in hardened bunkers around the world, humanity's counterattack took shape. Lieutenant Hassan's team had developed a quantum virus designed to spread through the aliens' biological network. Not to destroy, but to confuse, to make each ship doubt the information it received from the others. The first infected ship was one of the smallest in the alien fleet. The virus spread through its neural pathways, then jumped to nearby vessels through their communication channels. Within hours, the alien fleet began to show signs of confusion. Ships fired on empty space, evaded non-existent threats, and gradually lost formation. Supreme Vanquisher Zixtal, watching from his new flagship, realized too late what was happening. The humans hadn't tried to destroy his ships. They'd turned the fleet's greatest strength into a weakness. The neural network that made the ships adaptive and responsive now spread chaos through the entire armada. But the aliens had one last weapon. The flagship began to pulse with energy, preparing to release a quantum surge that would destroy everything in Earth's orbit, including their own fleet, a suicide attack to ensure victory. Commander Lai, still watching from the ISS, recognized the energy signature. They're going to create a quantum singularity. It'll tear apart everything in range, including Earth's atmosphere. The quantum virus had infected too many ships to stop the chain reaction. Earth had minutes before the surge would begin. That's when Lieutenant Hassan made a suggestion so dangerous it bordered on insane. "We can't stop the surge," she said, "but we can redirect it. The virus gives us access to their network. If we time it right, we can make every infected ship jump to hyperspace at exactly the same moment." The plan was suicide for the alien fleet. A synchronized hyperspace jump with compromised navigation would scatter their ships across the galaxy. Many wouldn't survive the jump, but Earth would be saved. Admiral Rodriguez gave the order. Lieutenant Hassan's team uploaded the final command through the quantum virus. Across Earth's orbit, infected alien ships began to glow with hyperspace energy. The flagship's quantum surge reached its peak just as the commands executed. In an instant, the alien fleet vanished. The surge energy, meant to destroy Earth, was dispersed harmlessly across 1,000 hyperspace corridors. In orbit, Commander Lai watched the last traces of energy fade away. "All hostile ships gone," she reported. "Space is clear." The second invasion had failed, but in laboratories around the world, scientists studied the recovered biological components with growing concern. The alien ships weren't just weapons, they were an evolving threat. And somewhere out there, they were adapting, learning, preparing for another attempt. Humanity had won again, but victory had come at a price. They now knew their enemy better, understood the true nature of the threat. The next battle wouldn't be fought with just weapons and tactics. It would be a war of evolution, humanity's ability to innovate against an enemy that adapted to every defeat. In her mountain laboratory, Dr. Petal began work on a new project. If the aliens could evolve their weapons, then humanity would need to stay one step ahead. The race for survival had entered a new phase, and Earth's greatest minds were ready for the challenge. Breaking point. Earth's victory celebration lasted exactly 6 hours before the third wave arrived. This time, the alien ships emerged from quantum space inside the atmosphere. A maneuver that should have torn them apart. Instead, they survived, their biomechanical hulls adapting instantly to atmospheric pressure. Dr. Patel's quantum sensors detected the impossible. The alien vessels had evolved to manipulate local spacetime, creating bubbles of altered physics around themselves. Humanity's previous defensive strategies were useless against an enemy that could simply change the rules of reality. Lieutenant Hassan's virus had scattered the second wave across the galaxy, but it had also given the aliens crucial data about Earth's quantum technology. They had evolved beyond networked consciousness to something far more dangerous. Each ship was now a self-contained universe with its own physical laws. The attacks began without warning. Mexico City disappeared under a dome of altered spacetime, where light moved at half its normal speed. Shanghai found itself experiencing time at 1/10 the rate of the rest of the world. In London, gravity reversed itself every 30 seconds. Admiral Rodriguez coordinated Earth's response from a mobile command center, knowing any fixed installation would be an easy target. "They're not trying to destroy us," he realized, watching the patterns of attack. "They're experimenting on us. Each city is a different test of their space-time manipulation." Commander Lai, having evacuated the International Space Station minutes before it was consumed by a bubble of accelerated time, made a crucial observation. The ships are creating these effects, but they're not immune to them. They're sacrificing themselves to maintain these zones. This was humanity's opening. Dr. Patel's team had been working on Project Prometheus, a way to fight fire with fire. If the aliens could manipulate space-time, humans would learn to do the same. The captured biological components from previous battles had taught them how. The counterattack began in Mexico City. Special forces teams, equipped with experimental quantum shields, entered the slow time zone. They moved like ghosts through the frozen chaos, planting temporal charges on the alien ship at the dome's center. When the charges detonated, they didn't destroy the vessel. They forced it to maintain a permanent bubble of slow time around itself, trapping it in an endless moment. In Shanghai, Lieutenant Hassan led a digital assault on the ship's quantum systems. Her team had evolved their virus, creating a program that could infect not just networks, but space-time itself. The alien vessel's time dilation field collapsed, crushing the ship under the weight of accumulated temporal energy. London proved the hardest target. The reversing gravity had turned the city into a chaos of falling debris and floating vehicles. Dr. Patel herself joined the assault team, carrying a prototype device that could synchronize with the alien ship's gravity manipulation. As the team fought their way through the alternating gravitational fields, Patel realized something that changed everything. The ships aren't just manipulating space-time, she reported back to Admiral Rodriguez. They're drinking it, using it as fuel. That's why they're sacrificing themselves. They're trying to learn how to consume reality itself. The implications were staggering. If the aliens perfected this technology, they could devour entire regions of space-time, using the energy to evolve even further. Earth wasn't just fighting for survival, it was fighting to preserve the fabric of reality itself. Humanity's response was unprecedented. Every quantum physicist, every engineer, every scientist who could contribute worked together on a single goal: finding a way to stop an enemy that could literally change the laws of physics. The answer came from an unexpected source. A team of geologists noticed that the alien ships avoided certain mineral formations, crystals that naturally disrupted quantum fields. These weren't special or rare minerals, but common stones found in every corner of the world. The Earth itself had evolved defenses against quantum manipulation over billions of years. The final battle for London became a test of this theory. As the alien ship prepared another gravity reversal, Patel's team deployed a ring of crystalline transmitters around it. The crystals didn't just disrupt the ship's quantum field. They reflected it back, trapping the vessel in a feedback loop of its own twisted physics. One by one, the remaining alien ships were defeated, not by advanced technology, but by the natural quantum properties of Earth's geology. The third wave had failed, but the victory felt hollow. The aliens had demonstrated an ability to evolve that surpassed anything humanity had imagined possible. In the aftermath, as cities began to recover from their quantum wounds, Dr. Patel made a disturbing discovery. The defeated alien ships hadn't been destroyed. They had gone dormant, their biological components entering a state of suspended animation. They were evolving even in defeat, preparing for something bigger. The question wasn't if the aliens would return, but what they would become when they did. Humanity had proven itself capable of fighting enemies that could bend reality, but the next wave would be even stronger, even stranger. In laboratories and bunkers around the world, preparations began for the next phase of the war. Humanity would need to evolve too, not biologically, but technologically and strategically. The breaking point hadn't been reached yet, but when it came, Earth would be ready. The quantum gambit. A year passed. Earth fortified itself with crystalline defense grids and quantum detection arrays. The dormant alien ships remained silent in their containment facilities, studied day and night by Dr. Patel's team. Then they received a transmission from deep space, not from the aliens, but from something else. The message came encoded in quantum fluctuations that matched Earth's natural crystal formations. Dr. Patel decoded it in her Rocky Mountain laboratory. They are not what they seem. We can help. Before Earth's leaders could decide how to respond, the fourth wave arrived. These ships were different. massive crystalline structures that seemed to phase in and out of reality. They appeared simultaneously at every major defense grid, but they didn't attack. Instead, they'd broadcast a message in perfect English. "We are the archivists. Your enemy is our ancient foe." Admiral Rodriguez, Dr. Patel, and Lieutenant Hassan were chosen to meet with the archivists' representative aboard their crystalline flagship. The being that greeted them was pure energy contained within a crystalline form, similar to Earth's defensive minerals. "The ones you fight," the archivist explained, "were once like us, creatures of pure energy and thought. But they grew hungry for physical form, for the power to shape reality itself. They became consumers of worlds, using organic technology to devour space-time." The revelation hit hard. Earth hadn't been fighting an alien invasion. It had been fighting the forward scouts of a cosmic parasite, an entity that had evolved beyond the constraints of normal physics. The dormant ships in containment weren't sleeping. They were pupating. The archivists offered Earth an alliance, sharing technology they had developed over millions of years of fighting the Devourers, as they called them. But their help came with a warning. "The next wave will be the last. They have tasted your world's unique quantum properties. They will come with everything they have." Dr. Patel integrated the archivists' crystal technology with Project Prometheus, creating weapons that could fight the Devourers on their own terms. Lieutenant Hassan's team developed new quantum algorithms that could predict where reality itself would be attacked. They weren't a moment too soon. The dormant ships suddenly activated, their organic components having completed their evolution. They didn't just break free from containment. They broke free from conventional spacetime, creating tiers in reality through which the main Devourer fleet emerged. The scene above Earth defied description. Reality buckled and warped as thousands of biomechanical horrors poured through dimensional rifts. These weren't ships anymore. They were living weapons that used physical laws as food, each one capable of consuming entire cities' worth of space-time. But humanity was ready. The crystalline defense grid activated, resonating at frequencies that stabilized local space-time. Archivist ships joined Earth's defenders, their ancient technology combining with human innovation to create a barrier the Devourers couldn't simply evolve past. The battle that followed was unlike anything in human history. The Devourers tried to consume reality itself, only to find their efforts reflected back by the crystal grid. Each attempt to evolve new abilities was met with counter-evolution from the hybrid human archivist defenses. Lieutenant Hassan's quantum algorithms predicted each of the enemy's adaptations seconds before they occurred, allowing Earth's defenders to respond instantly. Dr. Patel's enhanced Prometheus weapons didn't just fight the Devourers, they forced them to experience normal physics, trapping the entities in stable spacetime where they couldn't evolve further. The turning point came when Admiral Rodriguez ordered a synchronized attack using every quantum weapon in Earth's arsenal, combined with the Archivist's crystal technology. The blast didn't destroy the Devourers. It did something far worse. It forced them to obey the laws of physics, trapping them in physical form without the ability to evolve or consume reality. The Devourer fleet, suddenly bound by normal spacetime, found itself vulnerable to conventional weapons. Earth's military forces, backed by archivist ships, methodically eliminated the trapped entities. The few that escaped through their reality tiers found themselves pursued by archivist vessels into the depths of space. As the dust settled, humanity faced a new reality. They weren't alone in the universe, but more importantly, they had proven themselves capable of fighting alongside ancient, godlike beings as equals. Earth's unique combination of crystalline minerals and human ingenuity had changed the course of a war that had raged for millions of years. The Archivists offered humanity membership in their galactic coalition, but Earth's leaders had learned caution. They accepted an alliance of equals instead, maintaining their independence while gaining access to the Archivists' knowledge and technology. The captured Devourer vessels, now trapped in physical form, became the foundation for a new branch of science. Humanity began to understand the nature of reality itself, not to consume it like the devourers, but to protect it, to ensure that no species would ever again threaten the fabric of existence. Dawn of tomorrow. The last devourer made its final stand in Earth's orbit. Not a ship or a fleet, but the entity's true form, a cosmic horror that existed in 11 dimensions simultaneously. It had watched its children fail 4 times to consume this insignificant world, and now it revealed itself in desperation. The entity's presence alone warped reality. Oceans reversed their tides. The planet's rotation slowed. Gravity fluctuated wildly across continents, but humanity had evolved beyond mere physical defenses. Dr. Patel's quantum crystals resonated across the planet, creating a stabilizing field that protected Earth's spacetime. Lieutenant Hassan's predictive algorithms, now merged with archivist technology, calculated the entity's next move before it happened. Admiral Rodriguez coordinated a defense grid that spanned the solar system. The devourer spoke directly into every human mind. We are entropy itself. We are evolution's end. Your resistance is a cosmic accident that must be corrected. From her command center, Dr. Patel made a startling realization. The crystals weren't just stabilizing reality. They were recording it. Each quantum fluctuation, each dimensional twist, revealed the devourer's history. They're not evolution's end, she broadcast globally. They're evolution's failure. The truth emerged through the crystalline records. The devourers were once scientists like humanity, pushing the boundaries of physics, but they had gone too far, transforming themselves into beings that could only survive by consuming reality itself. They weren't gods. They were addicts, desperate for their next feast of space-time. Humanity's response was not to destroy, but to heal. The combined human archivist fleet surrounded the entity with crystalline satellites. Each crystal contained encoded patterns of stable spacetime, offering an alternative to consumption. It was addiction therapy on a cosmic scale. The entity raged, twisting reality in increasingly desperate patterns, but each distortion was met with stability. Each attack answered with an offer of peace. Slowly, the dimensional storms subsided. A cosmic horror began to shrink, condensing into a more comprehensible form. In the end, what remained was a crystalline structure no larger than a city block, pulsing with quantum energy. Inside, the devourer existed in a stable state, experiencing reality without needing to consume it. The addiction was broken. The archivists confirmed what humanity had achieved: the first ever rehabilitation of a devourer entity. The crystalline prison became a template, a way to save rather than destroy these cosmic addicts. Earth had done more than defend itself. It had found a way to heal an ancient enemy. 5 years later, Earth's quantum crystal technology had spread throughout the galaxy. The combined knowledge of humanity, archivists, and reformed devourers led to a new understanding of reality itself. Cities floated on quantum fields. Ships traveled through stabilized space-time corridors. The galaxy entered an age of protected evolution, where species could advance without risking cosmic addiction. Dr. Patel, now heading Earth's Quantum Research Council, kept the original devourer crystal in her laboratory. It served as a reminder that humanity's greatest strength wasn't the ability to destroy threats, but to understand them, to find solutions where others saw only conflict. Lieutenant Hassan's algorithms evolved into a galactic early warning system, detecting quantum instabilities before they could threaten civilizations. Admiral Rodriguez led the new Earth Defense Force, training the next generation to protect not just humanity, but the very fabric of space-time. The universe was still full of dangers, still harboring entities that defied comprehension. But humanity had earned its place among the cosmos' guardians. Earth became known not as the world that defeated the devourers, but as the world that saved them. In the end, humanity's greatest victory wasn't won through superior firepower or advanced technology. It was won through the uniquely human traits that had saved them time and again: the ability to learn, to adapt, to see past conflict to find understanding. The dawn of tomorrow brought not just peace, but the promise of a universe where evolution served life rather than threatened it. The crystal in Dr. Patel's lab pulsed with a steady rhythm, like a heartbeat. Inside, the former devourer experienced reality as humans did, one moment at a time, each instant precious precisely because it passed. It was a reminder that even cosmic horrors could learn, could change, could be saved. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, other crystals pulsed in harmony, a network of recovered devourers learning to exist without consumption. They became living libraries of space-time, their vast knowledge now preserving reality instead of destroying it. Earth's story became legend among the stars, not just for standing against impossible odds, but for finding a way to turn an ancient enemy into an ally. The human experiment in cosmic rehabilitation changed the course of galactic history, proving that evolution's greatest achievement wasn't the power to change reality, but the wisdom to preserve it.